Hello, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening from wherever you guys are watching. As promised, we are again here to discuss, or just like a chat between, the working moms or like whoever are busy working. And then we are discussing today about how to get us disciplined, to balance our work life and our family life. We have to go on to some kind of discipline. So we are discussing that, and today we have Dr. Susie Jacob Francis from all the way from UK. And she was so we are so thankful to her. She accepted because she's a very busy mom. She has her own business and she is a general practitioner, so you can imagine how busy her life is. So us too, I'm a nurse. Melina works in the retail. So Melina I'm from Houston and Melina is from Canada. So we are just going to chat about how we can. I'm sure some people out there who are watching or the replay are going to benefit a little bit from us. So I'm going to start with a quote: invest in your work life balance. Time with friends and family is as important as times at work. Getting that out of balance is a path towards unhappiness. This is a quote by Stephen Gillett. So, this actually really says that we have to really pay attention on our work life balance, because we have to, give equal importance to work and our family, right? Otherwise, it will be leading a path to unhappiness. So, welcome, Dr. Susie. The floor is all yours.
Yeah, welcome,
Hi,
Susie. Yeah,
hi,
thank you so
Melina.
much
Hi,
for your
Romy.
time.
No worries at all. So, when Romy asked me to come in for this live, I couldn't say no because she's always been really, really kind. And, she always jumps to the opportunity when I've asked her in the past. So I'm really happy to be here. And also thank you for being flexible. I know we had to change a bit of a time this
That's
time
okay.
round, but you guys were flexible. So thank you so much. And I'm really, really glad to be here and maybe share a bit of my insight into having a disciplined lifestyle and a bit about routine. So this is basically just a chat about perhaps my routine, like what I do. Now, obviously, this is not gospel. People have different routines. It's just like
Yes.
what I do. So this may not resonate with some people, but this is what I do. So one of the things I am very, very committed to do is my early morning routine. So for me, first thing in the morning when I wake up, I kind of need my cup of tea.
Yeah.
It starts with a cup of tea. I go get a cup of tea, and I'm a born again Christian. So the first thing I do actually after getting my cup of tea is actually the Bible. So I read my Bible, and that's my kind of time to reflect on my life. Reflect on God, His plans for my life and things like that. And then I spend a bit of time praying. So it's about 20-25 minutes I spend every morning doing that. And that's my first routine. Now, for some people, not everyone believes in God, but which is fine. It's up to you. It's your choice. But you have to have some kind of meditation, mindfulness in your life. Whether for me, it's God. But for you, it might not be God, and that's okay. But you do need some sort of thing to root you and ground you and anchor you. Now, I do by meditating on God's word, but you can actually it's very because I'm a doctor, so obviously not all my patients actually believe in God. So I tell them, how do you actually ground yourself? How do you root yourself first thing in the morning? So I say that one of the best ways is actually you can actually sit down, put barefooted, put your foot on the floor, feel the floor, listen to the birds, and then be in that space that that flow kind of space, and don't think about any negative thoughts or your bills and things like that, but just take that deep breath inside and be grateful. And that's one of the things what I do when I'm actually praying or doing anything. So that's the thing I even sometimes tell patients. You have to actually be grateful for things that's actually working out in your life, and not just focus on things that's not going well. So if you start your day with some gratefulness, whether grateful for your life, grateful to God, things like that, grateful for your family, and that's a good way to start. Definitely don't start your days picking up your phone.
Yes, that's for
Don't
sure.
do that. I have done that, and I have to admit I'm not perfect.
Yes.
I'm not perfect, but I'm now making a conscientious effort in doing that, because once you actually devote that first 20 minutes or 25 minutes into that any form of gratefulness activity, your mind is prepared to actually then face any challenge. But if you are not grateful and you just start, and the first thing you see is bad news or an email or a complaint letter that you have to be sorting out and things like that, your day won't go well.
Yes.
So that's one of my first activities that I do. I don't know whether any of you kind of do something similar or.
Yes.
Yes.
I mean, I also had that habit of getting out, like just reaching out, open your eyes, reaching out, get your phone and see, right? I'm trying consciously to change that habit too. Yes, I have stopped doing that.
Yeah, absolutely. I also, as you said, we are not perfect. I consciously make a decision not to take the phone, and spend the first few minutes of the day with God and reading the Bible or listening to
Pray
something
or
devotional,
meditate.
some kind of a prayer thing. And I think that's very important in our life. Having
Yes.
that kind of a routine, starting your day with God or whoever you believe or whatever it is, like meditation, will give you a kind of an extra strength to move on to the whole day, right? Yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely.
That's a great routine. Yeah. And I think in mostly all the books you read about having a routine, or especially the Miracle Morning by Hal Elrod. I don't know if you have read that book, and the 5 a.m. Club by Robin Sharma. They all insist on having that silent moments in the first thing of life, like the first thing of the day. So I think it's very important for us not to get into the busyness right away, but calm yourself down and silence, and that's very important. Yeah.
And I don't know whether your experience is similar, like you when I do that, when I reflect on it, and I get that some kind of I am in that flow kind of state, just enjoying, I actually start getting ideas in my head. It just pops in. For me, I get most of my ideas, whether it's for work or for my businesses, all those kind of ideas just flows in, because you are in that mindful state, isn't it? I don't know whether you've experienced anything like that.
Yeah, I guess when you have that positivity inside you, you try to bring that positivity, and I usually give thanks, like you don't know what happens next minute, right? So you have to be grateful that you are awake, right? And just be grateful or be thankful for the last day, and just go through what happened last the day before, and be grateful. That's what I usually do in the morning. Of course, when you have that positive energy within you and the ideas really I try to do that too. It helps, really helps.
So another question to ask Susie. So do you wake up early? What time you wake up actually?
I wake up anytime between 5:30 and 6 generally.
Wow, that's
I wake up between 5:30 and 6, because obviously you have to I have a teenager who I have to get her sorted also for school and things like that.
So
weekends I might sleep a bit more till 7. Weekends I might, but again it depends. Sometimes if I weekends is my kind of me and my hubby time. So like one of the things I do is we actually sometimes go for a drive early in the morning.
Wow, that's a
when
beautiful
my
thing.
daughter is still sleeping. So we
Oh.
kind of, because he's a private chef, he's very busy, and I'm busy myself. So sometimes we don't get that, couple time. So we go, and it's two birds with a stone, really. So we go for a drive. Usually it will be a quiet place somewhere, a bit far off, maybe within half an hour, 45 minutes, and be like a garden sort of place, or
Oh,
like
wow.
a lake. And he takes pictures. So because I run a business, we use a lot of the pictures that he takes that way. Or I do lives, or I take videos that time. So he's happy because we're having a couple time, and I'm happy because I'm combining that with a bit of work, my business related work also. So we both are happy in that sense. So that's how I manage like weekends, so that we get our time together and do a bit of the business at the same time.
Yeah, that's amazing. And I think you wake up a bit earlier than your husband, like on a weekdays, right? You have that alone time, right, in the
No,
morning.
my husband actually wakes up
Wakes
a lot
up
early
first.
because he leaves earlier than me. So
Oh, okay,
so he wakes up quite early. He
But
wakes
you
up at
have
4
that
o'clock and
quiet
all.
moment for
So
you.
he's up by 4. So that's because he has to be ready and get ready. He
Yeah,
has to
yeah,
leave by 6. So that's why.
yeah, yeah.
I guess what I would say, like, early rising is the best thing ever, because you have the whole day to, take care of and like schedule your things, and but if you're late riser, half of the day is like gone, right?
Gone. Yeah.
So I'm an early riser. I love waking up early in the morning, and I'm the first one. My husband used to wake up with me before, but I guess now I took the first position. So I always love to wake up early, get out in my backyard, and just like you said, when you go to a park, you hear those birds, and those when you see the sun, that all like gives me a positive energy and a positive vibe. I love that. I have some animals, so what I do is like, I wake up, I go talk to them. I mean, like, they're not going to talk back to me, but I still talk to them. I have a dog, I have some chickens, so I feed them. I have some fishes in the pond, so I feed them. So that is my routine. So I love to do that and talk and water my plants. That's how I start my day. But that morning, the first sun rays, I love that. And sometimes I even take off my shoes and put my feet on the grass. So that gives me so much of happiness.
Yeah,
So that's how I start my
yourself.
day.
That's a kind of mindfulness technique by actually doing that. So which is amazing. Amazing to try. So one of the other things I actually do after I do my prayer is that's why then I start waking up my daughter and things like that. And while she's kind of getting ready, I then exercise. I've been exercising now since April 2020. I started because during the pandemic, when my daughter had to stay at home and she couldn't play with her friends, she couldn't go to school, and she was like, Mama, I'm bored. Can you play Let's Dance with me? And I said, okay, let's, I'm not a dancer. My husband is the dancer. I'm not a dancer. So I said, okay, it's fine. It's for just a little one, isn't it? We played dust dance. I couldn't even last for 5 minutes. And that actually gave me a realization. My God, I am really, not in good shape. Because if I couldn't do it even for 5 minutes, that meant like I wasn't in good shape. And she was laughing, she was enjoying it. and the funny enough is I'm a petite person. It's not like I'm overweight.
Yes, you are. You look very perfect. I cannot even believe you said you cannot do 5 minutes.
5 minutes.
No, but I was kind of the same actually that time also. I haven't actually put on or I haven't lost also. So And I was like, no, but this is not right, because just because I don't look overweight or obese doesn't mean my heart health is good. So from that time, then I realized I needed to exercise, and then I started exercising in 2020, and I've not even missed a day actually. I do fit in something like when we are on holiday, we walk. Me and my husband, we love walking, so we walk like 16,000 steps, 20,000 steps. So those days I don't exercise extra, because that's kind of like. But otherwise, so I do some form of exercise since then. I exercise every day. So one of my morning routines then is, if I am not on holiday and I know I'm not expecting to walk like 20,000 steps or 16,000 steps, I would then actually fit in some kind of exercise. And now for over a year, I've added even strength training. So I lift weights also now, a bit, not much, just enough to help my core strength. So yeah, so those are again good. And now I am perfect. Like I can walk and I can dance for 15 minutes and I'm still not tired. So yeah, obviously it took me time to get to that point, but it's fine. I built myself. So it's your mind, your body. So it's not, because obviously doing mindfulness helps your mind, but at the same time we need routines to help our body.
Your body too. Yes. You
Yeah,
need to take care of your health.
Too. Yeah, that's what I usually do, a little bit of stretching exercise in the morning, like a 5-minute one, very quick stretching. So it gives some kind of it's some kind of energy in you when you do those stretches. You are not stiff the whole day. And of course, when I work, since I'm in the retail, I do a lot of walking. Those days I give myself a little bit rest, because you walk a lot. Yeah, but even otherwise, I think having that little bit of stretch, or I think we have lots of videos in the YouTube that anyone can follow, like yoga and stretching, and mostly there are like 5-minute exercise, 5-minute stretch, so it's easy these days to have some kind of routine for your body and mind and everything, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
On that exercise part, I guess I have to start picking it up, because I dropped it somewhere, and now I already started in July 1st. That was my start date. That was just 2 days ago. But it's like, you have it in your head, you have it in your mind, right? It's so hard to make it possible. So, it's your mind, like you have it in but it's your mind says, okay, you can do it tomorrow, and tomorrow never comes, right? You're saying, oh, I'm going to start tomorrow. I start tomorrow. So tomorrow never comes. So if you have taken a decision, you have to start doing it right there. You have to start doing it today. There is no tomorrow. When you put anything for tomorrow, it sometimes never comes. You get, you have it in your mind, you want to do it, but sometimes it never comes. So when you make a decision, I guess you have to stick on. You make a schedule, write it down, cross it out. So that's how I keep myself, in the balance. Like otherwise, I probably won't get my things done. So, and then whenever I feel like whenever you get a chance, like you spend time with your family, like you said, you dance with your daughter in the morning, right? How much time it takes. So work-life balance means, like, I'm sure you have to go for work. If you had a choice, probably you won't, right? But when we live in this country, or like any place, we have to have our financial support. That's why we go for work, and people do go work for passion too. But I guess we have to give the same importance to our family too. So whenever the little bit, it doesn't take too much time, but whenever we get a chance, we spend time with our kids, like you did. I do the same thing. I'm exactly like my kids. people say that you are not grown up yet, because I run and play and like do all kind of crazy stuff with my kids. So I'm still not grown up, even though I'm their mother. My
Just
kids
wanted
did.
to correct you there. I don't dance with her first thing in the morning. We done like
Yeah,
whenever
but
there's-
still you
So,
had
yeah,
that
yeah,
time
no.
when she's told,
No,
right?
I actually work out in the morning because again I
Yes,
want
yes.
it to be a routine, and
Mhm.
anything for it to be a routine, if you just do it for like between 21 days to 28 days consistently, it becomes a
Yes,
habit.
yes.
For
Mhm.
me now, and my husband also knows, like in the beginning, my daughter and my husband were making fun of me because he's like, oh yeah, she's going again to work out, and I was like, no, this is mommy's time. Mommy needs to work out.
Yes,
And
yes,
they know
yes,
now,
yes.
but now you're like, now they know I do it all the time. They're like, oh, did you
Mhm.
finish your exercise, or you have still your exercise left? Because obviously I pray and then I might go about doing few other bits and bobs and come back to the exercise.
Mhm.
So then they're like, mommy, did you finish praying, exercising? I said, no, I'm now going to go for exercise. Well, your food is ready. Go downstairs, get your food, and it's that sort of routine.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah,
yes,
yeah.
yes.
And now I feel like if I miss a day, like I'm like something's not right, because
Right.
it's become so much of a habit.
Yeah.
Like
Yes, yes.
you cannot. It's like I cannot. Like it for me, unless I'm on holiday and I know I'm going to walk. If I don't
Mhm.
exercise, even I remember there were few days when I was having a bit of a fever. My husband was like, "Don't tell me you're going to be like a crazy woman and you're going to exercise." I said, "I need to do at least 20 minutes." And I did mild things like what you said. Those days I might do just a bit of stretches or a bit of walk.
Yeah.
They are walking on the spot or things like that. I
Yeah,
won't do
yeah.
anything a bit crazy. But the thing is, again, even I've come to such a to a point where even when I'm not well, it's like brushing your teeth. If you can stand up, you want to brush your teeth even if you are not well, isn't it? It's
Yes,
come to
yes,
something
same
like
thing.
that, like
It's
that.
part of your routine now, right?
It's grilled in.
Mhm. Mhm.
It's grilled in now, so
Yeah.
I have to do it. And that's like anything in the beginning it's hard to do, but once you do it consistently, it's part of you. You have to do
Yes.
it.
Mhm.
Like how we get up in the mornings, if we have work and all, we have to do it, so we do
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
It's
Mhm.
like that. Anything new, when we have to start, also when it's hard, you
Yes,
just
yes.
have to tell it, this is fine. It's hard because I'm doing it for the first time, but
Mhm.
it is good for me. It is good for my
Mhm.
family or whatever, and you start doing things, is it? And that becomes a routine. And then you
Yes, yes,
improve.
yes.
Like it's not like the first day I started exercising, I did 30 minutes. No, I did 10 minutes, 5, 10
10
minutes
minutes,
first,
yeah,
and
that's
then
how you
from
increase
10
it.
You
to
increase.
15,
Yeah.
and then
Yes, yes.
then you build it up like that. You don't
Yeah.
just do 30 minutes. You really might hurt yourself if you do that, if you never
Yes,
exercise.
yes,
Yeah.
yes,
Yeah.
yes. And also,
So-
I feel like you have to. Sometimes we feel lazy, right? You go for work because that thing you cannot avoid. But when you come your home, you are like, oh, I can take care of that later. That kind of stuff. You feel it because you get tired too. So I want to mention a book. This book, 5-Second Rule by Mel Robbins. So it's a good book to read. So Mel Robbins says that launch yourself like rocket, right? You are like, the launching of rocket is like you count backwards, like
Backwards,
5,
yeah.
4, 3, 2, 1, and then rocket launches. So Mel Robbins says that when you feel like lazy, right? There are things need to be done at home, and it's in your back of your mind, and you feel that thing comes over, but then still you are sitting there and like you feel a little lazy, or it has to be done, but still we are not doing it.
Doing it,
So Mel Robbins says that launch yourself like rocket, destroy the laziness and procrastinations. And so that is a good book for me. Sometimes I do feel like if I had to fold I guess that is the toughest thing I do in my house, folding my clothes, not my clothes, the whole everybody's clothes. I mean, like everybody helps, but then once that thing is done, I feel like I achieved something big,
Yeah.
just folding my clothes and putting and arranging it in order, and putting it, just that look gives me so much of happiness.
Yeah.
So I guess we have to launch like a rocket. We have to get out of where we are sitting and get things done, right?
Yeah.
5-second
Absolutely.
Rule is a very good book. How
Yeah.
about Melina? What do you want to say?
Yeah, but
No,
one of the things what I do is actually I try to prioritize. Like the things is like what you say. When it comes to work, we know we have to do it.
Yeah.
We have to do it and we do it. And when we come home, there'll be certain things in the house that needs to be done. And for me, how I work around it is I kind of prioritize what is what can be done within 5 minutes. If it can be done in 5 minutes, I do it. If it takes a bit, so, and that will be the most urgent tasks and the most like if I need to call somebody, the car, has gone for, to the garage and, or I need to make a booking and, you have to do it and things like that. If it takes less than 5 minutes, I don't procrastinate on that. And it might be the most urgent tasks also. So if there's anything like that, I tend to actually do straight that. Or I might say, okay, straight while I'm having lunch, while I'll, because obviously we have to wait, isn't it? So you can have your lunch and you can keep it on hold and wait to pick up the call. So you actually prioritize things in your head like that.
Yes, for sure.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
How about you, Melly?
Anything else, what I do is if it takes a bit longer, I don't know whether you've ever heard of the Pomodoro technique, where you actually do tasks in 25 minutes and you take a 5-minute break and all.
Okay.
Fantastic tech. For me, again, what we are discussing today might not work for everyone, but these are just ideas which you can, if you can incorporate 1 or 2 of what we are discussing, your life will change. So for me, again, Pomodoro technique is like if I want to do a task and I know it for 20 minutes I can keep a level head, and after that I might lose a bit of attention and things. There's lots of studies that says the 20-minute mark. So during that time I give my full attention to do that and focus, and then 5 minutes I actually then give myself a break, allow myself to be distracted and then go back to it again. And that kind of giving that break has always made me more productive. At least that's worked for me quite a lot.
Yes.
Yeah.
How about you, Melina?
Yeah, the first thing I would say is I always like to prioritize my things, and even though we hear about, like I've heard about this 5-second rule, sometimes I practice it, and also I've heard about the Pomodoro technique. It doesn't work every day, but these are all behind the mind, but you can use it whenever like you feel like you need to get back to that balance. It's all, these techniques are all available, and I think and the most important thing is you need to learn to prioritize. And as Dr. Susie said, like whatever can be done in the first 5 minutes, do it. Don't just procrastinate, just do it. And then slowly you will get into the habit of doing more and more. So that's the kind of technique I use, like prioritizing. Sometimes you come out like you just go out of all these techniques and everything and go back to the old normal, but try to come back. That's what I would say. Try to come back and apply some technique in your life that can make you productive, that can make you more creative and happy. So do you have any kind of to-do list you make in the morning right away?
Like, do you write it down or like you write?
For me, no, it's all in my mind. It's all in my mind. I kind of have it like, the thing is I do have a Google Calendar because I do a bit of management work and clinical work. So part of my management role, I attend lots of meetings. So all those things are there in my Google Calendar anyway. And then of course, you're a mom. You're a housewife and you run the house and things like that. Men like to come home and then my husband he's a chef. So and
So he cooks for you.
Yes, that is one thing I have to say. He hates my cooking, so he still cooks in the house. He hates my cooking.
That's good.
But other than that, anything else you want to get the man to do, it's best that you do it yourself.
Yeah.
Bless his heart. He's a very good husband. But sometimes, you feel like if you really want things to get done, you have to do. So, that time you have to kind of prioritize things and fit things in. And that's when I start using all these techniques, isn't it? So it's amazing, really.
Yeah.
I actually write it down. I write it down. I have to make a box in front of it, and then I have to check mark it. I love to do that. I guess I have been doing it for a long time, like since I was young. So I write it down and I have to check mark it, and I feel so good about it once I see that check mark. I mean, like, not everything. There are routines we do every day, but if there is something special I have to do, I always make sure I write it down somewhere. I'm like, I have a book and I write it down and check mark it. And if I'm going some vacation, I write everything down. Like, I have to check mark those, and I like, I plan it way ahead. So that's me, actually.
Yeah.
Yes.
I just do that for my shopping list, because that I forget. So because I have this magnet, so I just write it down, because I was like, okay, next time on my online shopping I need to include, because that I forget. So I write it down in the fridge as soon as I know, okay, that's over. I write it down so that then I can put it on the order.
Yes.
There's lots of techniques which you can implement in your daily life, which can accelerate your productivity, right? Yeah. So same thing. I sometimes I write it down. Sometimes it's in the mind. Some days they're in the mind. Some days you write it down, and in the end of the day, when you look at it, at least if you get at least 2 or 3 things done, you feel a lot of bit of happiness in you, and that's what makes you feel like, okay, you have achieved something. Like so, yeah. Any other tips, Dr. Susie, you want to share with the audience?
Well, if it was I think the thing is, there's a lot of information out there. And we have to be aware that, it's not like all these things will work for you. But today, our audience has heard quite a bit of tips from us.
Yeah.
Now, I think the thing is now is you have to take action.
Just
select any one technique that we've talked about today. If you incorporate that in your life itself, your life will change. Because at the end of the day, we cannot be like you can't listen to this talk and say, oh, I'm going to incorporate the 5-minute rule, the rocket technique, the Pomodoro technique, the meditation. You will go bonkers if you do that. What you need to do is, okay, what do I need in my life? I need a bit of peace when I get up. Do the meditation or do the prayer. Start with that. Then you build up, because even I didn't build all these techniques one day. I want to be productive, so bam, everything. No, this is a trial and error.
Yes.
For years.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I think the thing is, for you now to actually, what you need to do is actually pick one and start that and see how your life is changed. Because there's, knowledge is not power. Knowledge is potential power. Yeah. Unless you actually act on what you hear today, your life is not going to change at all.
No.
And if you want your life to be productive and you want your life to change, what you then need to do is actually incorporate these things in your life.
Yes. And once you start taking, and when you just even a small step, right? Just a little bit, start. Don't like try to do everything at the same time. So little bit. For me, if I feel like I take a 5 minutes break, that is going to extend to 10 minutes, then it's going to 15 minutes. That's me. But not all the time. I get things done, but you have you make mistakes or you drop things out, but then you catch up the next time. I guess there was some tips everyone got from our chat today. And we are all busy moms, like if even if you are a homemaker, if you have small kids, we are very busy. So if we don't find that work life balance, like you need to keep same importance to your family and your work, then everything gonna go crazy, right? And if you don't follow some kind of schedule or some
Yeah.
kind of tips to take care of yourself and your family and your work, probably the things won't be done, right? And so I guess that's all for today, and we are going to come next week some other tips for our audiences. I guess you guys enjoyed our talk today, and thank you for watching us. There are 3 people watching, I guess, 2 people,
Yeah.
right?
Asha and Jace. Thank you,
Okay.
Asha and Jace, for watching us
Thank you,
live.
Asha and
Yeah,
Jace.
and
I
yeah,
guess there is some help everybody got from here. And thank you so much, Susie, for coming
Susie,
on our
yeah.
page, because I know you're so busy, so busy, but then you accepted it. Thank you so much. And
No problem
thank
at
you,
all. You're
Melina.
always welcome.
Thank
Yeah.
you,
Thank
Susie.
you. Thank you, everyone. Have a beautiful day.
Yeah, have a blessed day and have a productive day, right?
Yeah.
Absolutely productive. Take action.
Yeah.
Take action. Okay, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.